to another Raw reaction video. I'm a little bit late, but it's been a crazy weekend for me. So obviously, um, I'm I'll talk about that some other time. But it's been a crazy week, and I finally got around to watching Raw this morning, and now got to do a reaction video because there's stuff to talk about. So we opened the episode with Shane O'Mac and Stephanie coming out and discussing, random bullshit before the New Day. Thank God the New Day comes out when they talk about the new SmackDown Live announcement. And the New Day, as entertaining as they are, is the perfect way to talk about what is going on into the future of the company, because they want to talk about, how they don't know anything yet, and, try and get rid of all this controversy and stuff, and talk about, I guess, how no one's safe. I don't know. In my opinion, if you draft one person from a tag team that's formed, you draft the entire tag team. With their logic, it just could mean that, anybody could be drafted anywhere, and you could have Kofi and Xavier Woods on Raw, and then Big E on SmackDown, and it would just be really strange, to be honest with you. But whatever. And then they have that stupid dance challenge, which the Vaudevillians interrupt, and thank God for that, because it was just kind of pointless and stupid. But then we get to the New Day versus the Vaudevillians in the opening match of the night, and this match was getting there. Like, it was getting towards the climax of the match when the Club interrupts by attacking Xavier Woods and then hitting Kofi, causing the DQ. Then they beat up Big E after the Vaudevillians do a lot of damage, which I'm interested to see what they do with it, but to be honest with you, it just doesn't seem like there's anything really set in stone yet. But very well could be the Vaudevillains versus the Club to determine the number one contenders for the tag titles, but little disappointed, because the Vaudevillains are one of my favorite teams, and they seemed kind of underused and whatnot. Then afterwards, we see the Club. They come in. We have a little bit of an interview, not really that big of a deal. They talk about how they've arrived and, generic stuff. And then we get Apollo Crews in the Big Show. Apollo Crews is like doing push-ups. The Big Show walks in and talks about and asks him if he's going to take what Sheamus did lying down or whatever, and it's kind of a weird segment, especially because neither of them wrestled tonight, which I found really strange. Maybe I missed it, I guess, because I've been watching it on the internet. Maybe they cut it out, but they didn't, at least all the shit that I had, they did not even wrestle tonight, and so it just kind of seemed like a really strange thing to do. Like, you get your ass kicked by someone, are you really just going to be like, whatever, not even going to try and get some revenge there? Just seems really pointless, especially because Big Show hasn't even been around, like, in forever. Like, when was the last time we even saw Big Show? I don't know. But just kind of weird. Then you get Breezango versus the Usos, and I know that a lot of people like Febreze as their team name, but it's Breezango, and I honestly kind of like the Breezango name, but I also like Febreze. I don't know. They're both kind of good names, but Breezango's music hits, which is awesome. I really like their kind of mix between the two. And it was a super quick match with a lame finish where the Usos roll them up. And to me, this was a desperate attempt to make the Usos faces again, because people booed the living crap out of them when they were helping Roman Reigns. But now they need a way for them to be the good guys again, because that Roman Reigns thing is finished. And they did a crappy job of it. as they were. They were kind of cheered, but there were a lot of people that did not like them even beating Breezango, which personally I didn't like them beating Breezango because I'm a fan of the Breezango tag team. I'm really hoping that this pushes Fandango and Tyler Breeze into at least the upper card, but this is just another example of how far the tag team division has come in the past year or so. Because, a year ago, we were sitting at like 5 tag teams, 6 tag teams, and that was it. And 4 of them did not have a legitimate chance at winning the tag team titles. So, it's much better now, in my opinion. We've got a lot of more entertaining tag teams that have come up. So then we get the Rollins and Reigns segment, which I loved, to be honest with you. Roman Reigns' mic skills are weak as fuck still. Absolutely no emotion. Doesn't even sound like he cares whether Seth Rollins really comes out or not. Kind of bugs me that Roman Reigns has gotten nowhere on the mic in the past year and a half. So, really disappointed that Roman Reigns is still as weak as ever. But Rollins, man, he pulled a Jericho tonight, or last night, I guess. And he came down to the ring. Then he walked back, and then he came down to the ring, and then he walked back, pretended to say something, but didn't say anything, went down to the ring, walked back. Once Roman Reigns' music hits, then we think it's over, then Rollins comes back down and walks back. And it's kind of a good kind of heelish move to like tease the crowd and tease Reigns that he's actually going to fight and not actually fight him. But wasn't actually a bad thing. I just feel like the resemblance to what Chris Jericho did back when he was first entering the WWE, like his huge return back in 2012, right? Whatever it was, and he came back and eventually fought CM Punk. It was a good heelish kind of move. And then we got Rusev versus Zack Ryder. It's legit the same matches. When Zack Ryder jobs to someone, they are legit the exact same matches. Like, Rusev will get some offense, and then Zack Ryder will reverse a move. He'll get a bunch of offense. He'll try to hit his finisher. He'll get reversed into their finisher. Boom, the end. Over. Happens every time Zack Ryder jobs to someone. When they let him actually, win or compete, he never gets that flurry at that point in the match. But Zack Ryder loses. Squash match. Rusev kind of starts jibber-jabbering about America, which really makes me question where they're going with this, because they already did the America thing. Like, they already made him diss America, and then they had a bunch of American people come out and try and beat him, and then he loses, eventually losing to John Cena because, America. So he starts bashing on America, and Titus O'Neil comes out, and we have the generic kind of, oh, but America's awesome, and how dare you do something like that, or say something like that, especially on Memorial Day. And then Titus, like, stops talking, and he's just like, let's fight, and then he smacks Rusev in the face, and that punch was intense as hell. Like, I feel like he broke Rusev's jaw. That punch was intense. I don't know. I just thought the way that he nailed Rusev and just how loud that smack was, oh man, that was crazy. But looks like Titus versus Rusev for the U.S. title is probably going to happen. Not a bad match in my opinion. Titus, I think, is ready to move on from Darren Young and the Primetime Players. What I don't understand is why Titus still has the PTP song. Because, back when the PTP broke up originally, Darren Young had kept the song and Titus got this other song. And now now that the PTP seems to be gone and done with, Titus takes that song, and I'm wondering if Darren Young's going to have another song with this other gimmick that he's going on. Which, by the way, at least what I saw didn't have it. But then, apparently, maybe I missed it, but there was a backstage segment with Steph and Charlotte, and it said earlier tonight, and I totally guess I missed it. Like, I watched all the way through, but I feel like either I zoned out or I just or wasn't there or something. But anyway, it was kind of an intense moment where Stephanie was calling out Charlotte for being a fraud and stuff, and it was a very good backstage segment in my opinion. Then we got Enzo and Cass versus the Dudleys. Enzo and Cass are just amazing, by the way. Just the opening part with the cheese, and oh man, they are as knowledgeable about where they are as the New Day. They have that kind of ability to, wherever they go, they know exactly the kind of people who are in the audience, and they will pander to them to no end. And it was a pretty decent match, but it continues to show that the tag team division is so impressive. Like, it really has gotten a lot better. Then we get a backstage segment, Ambrose, Zayn, and Cesaro, and we talk about being Canadian. I thought it was pretty funny, especially because Zayn says, but I'm Canadian, and then they're just like, oh, that explains everything. I don't even know what the fuck that was about, but it was funny. Then John Cena comes back, has the generic Honor Memorial Day thing, and it just kind of reminds me of how good it is to see Cena back. AJ Styles comes out after he talks about the new era having to go through him, and then the club comes out and talks about how AJ Styles needs to stop kissing ass and needs to start kicking ass. And then they beat the living crap out of Cena, and it was badass. Okay? Cena gets his ass handed to him by all three members of the club, and one thing, not only was that a great way for AJ Styles to get into this feud with Cena, but it also was a bad thing because it's just like, where the fuck was that with Reigns? If you are that kind of personality with Reigns, you wouldn't even hesitate. You wouldn't have had this huge moral thing. You could just beat the crap out of him like you did Cena. But anyway, quickly as we wrap up this episode here, Natty versus Brooke. What the fuck just happened? Honestly, I hated the match. The distraction and then an instant win, and then Becky Lynch comes out. I don't know. It was all stupid in my opinion. Dolph Ziggler talks about how he's going to go in and beat him in a real wrestling match, and they have this segment. It shows him actually wrestling with the Greco-Roman outfit, and then boom, kick to the cojones, and it's over. And I love that. Honestly, I loved that because Ziggler it's not a heel turn because he's facing someone that's a heel, but it's a more aggressive Dolph Ziggler. You could tell he is pissed off at what Baron Corbin has done to him and his career. So I'm actually really looking forward to this kind of heelish, but not really heelish Ziggler that we've got going on. It's really good. The Miz is talking about how he is going to be gone because he's filming a movie. I like the way that he put it and how he's going to stay relevant. It actually worked out pretty well. Then we get Owens, Del Rio, and Jericho in the back, and Owens and Jericho are just freaking amazing. Owens is like, I thought we had something here. I thought we were good pals, and Jericho's just shooting him down. And then at the end, when Jericho says, watch it, and then he's just like, watch what? And he's just like, just it. Oh, those two are just absolutely terrific. And then we get the final match of the night. Not much to really say there. You kind of got the expected win for the face team. Pretty damn good match, but expected results. So overall, pretty decent episode of Raw. Nothing too spectacular. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and yeah. Be sure to get ready for more videos because there's going to be quite a few today.